So here we are, the resurrection and return of the Cybermen. I am really excited about this, but luckily, I haven't been talking about this for too long. Isn't that right, everybody?
He's not shut up about them in 8 weeks.
You can say that again, wink. Okay, so let's talk about the penultimate episode, Nightmare in Silver, written by Neil Gaiman. Everybody's been looking forward to this episode for 2 reasons so far. A, Return of the Cybermen, and B, who it's written by. Okay, so let's take a quick history lesson for those of you who don't know who Neil Gaiman is. Neil Gaiman is the writer of probably the most popular episode of Series 6, The Doctor's Wife. So naturally, I think everyone was excited when we found out that he was going to be writing the penultimate episode of this series. And myself included, I was ecstatic when I found out Neil Gaiman was coming back because of how much of a mark he left on the show, and also because he was writing a Cybermen story. You're probably going to hear the word Cybermen like umpteen times in this review, by the way. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Let's just get this out of the way and talk about this first. The new Cybermen. Well, actually, let's talk about the Cybermen in general. We get our farewell shots at the beginning of the episode of the parallel world / Mundus Cybermen that we've all grown accustomed to in the new series. And I think that was a nice touch. I think that we needed to clarify that this was the end of this type of Cybermen. Quite like what they did in Victory of the Daleks. We got a few shots of the old Daleks at the very beginning, but it's kind of out with the old, in with the new kind of thing. And basically, yeah, I like that they touched on that. I like that they touched that, it's kind of like, right, farewell, end of an era. Let's bring in the new boys. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say now. We just saw them kind of, kidnapping people and sending out their cyber mice. They didn't do a big job in the episode, but I still think, yeah, it was a nice little subtle farewell to those models. And to be honest, yeah, I will miss them. They were really well designed. Now, let's talk about something really exciting. Let's talk about the new Cybermen models. Now, they're aesthetically beautiful, I thought. I mean, the faces are emotionless and they're scary. I mean, they've kind of gone back to Tomb of the Cybermen, I thought, they're just a lot more sleeker and a lot less robotic and more, human. You can tell that these are upgraded humans now. They're not just, clunking metal robots. They've kind of taken the best of every Cyberman throughout the ages and kind of formed it together to make this masterpiece, in my opinion. Taking the face, I think, from Tomb of the Cybermen and then, the arm weapon from, the new series Cybermen. And just overall, yeah, my favourite looking Cybermen to date, I have to say. Sorry, Tomb of the Cybermen. Now, the voice. We heard in an interview from Nicholas Briggs, who voices the Cybermen, and, the Daleks as well, that the Cybermen won't be talking as much now. These new Cybermen are going to be a lot more quieter, like they used to be. Going again back to Patrick Troughton's era, which it seems to be the path that they're taking now. They seem to be going way back before Revenge of the Cybermen, which I think is a good path to go down. But yeah, they wouldn't be talking as much, and they'd be more, kind of just staring at you and being very intimidating. But the voice, I thought, it wasn't the best voice today, but it was still a very good voice. It was very, Cybermen. It was like a combination, in my opinion, of the next Doctor Cybermen voice and the Tomb of the Cybermen voices. Again, there is a lot of comparisons to the Tomb of the Cybermen, in my opinion. They've just cut out all the dialogue that was not needed and was complete nonsense, and they say only what they need to say. Also, thank God that catchphrase delete is gone. They said upgrade a lot in this episode. I really hope upgrade is their brand new catchphrase. They don't even need a catchphrase, but if they have one, make it upgrade. And if they bring back delete again, I'll lose my mind, really. Now this has just got mixed receptions all over the internet, but personally, I've seen it in a very positive view. Now, according to the show, there's been about 1,000-year gap since we last saw the Cybermen, so that means from closing time till now, there's been about 1,000 years without the Cybermen. And there's also a strong rumour going about from the show as well that the Parallel World Cybermen and the Mundus Cybermen teamed up, like they finally met and teamed up and combined their technologies together in order to do this brand new upgrade, with the end result being the Nightmare in Silver Cybermen. I'll name off some of the upgrades we saw in the episode. We saw the fact now that they can slow down time and kind of zoom through, picking up people, well, maybe just one person at a time, and taking them off for upgrading, which I think is kind of scary in a way. The fact now that the Cybermen can just pick us up and just take us away, and there's nothing we can do about it. That is scary. Another one was the fact that now the Cybermen can take off their heads and place them wherever they want, and the body can roam around free, picking off people or shooting or whatever. This one kind of agitated me the most. Not as much as it annoyed most people, but I felt like the Cybermen kind of need their heads in a way, to be the Cybermen. I don't know what I'm saying by that, but it makes sense in my head. But it just felt like they went one step too far with the removing of the heads. Probably the scariest new upgrade now is the fact that the Cybermen can turn their heads around fully. They can do a full 360 degrees. So that means we can't sneak up on the Cybermen anymore now. It's more a role reversal. The Cybermen can now sneak up on you. But when that soldier tries to sneak up on that Cyberman and his face just goes, that face was terrifying. Right, so let's talk about two characters from this episode. We're going to talk about Jason Ackles, who played Webley. Yes, I'm pronouncing that right, hopefully. And Warwick Davis, who played Porridge. So, Jason Watkins as Webley. Webley's kind of like the scared owner of this theme park, but he's also a fun and energetic character. And it kind of all got really spoiled for me. Once I was really starting to like this character, he was kind of taken away straight away. I wish we could see more of him, but he gets, converted by the Cybermen, and the fun, energetic character that we all loved is swooped away. Very excited to hear that Warwick Davis is going to be in this episode playing Porridge. Warwick Davis's performance in this episode was absolutely fantastic, and it was solid throughout. He was a sassy character, but also quite mysterious, in control as well. And I really liked that as well, There was just never a moment where I didn't like Warwick Davis in this episode. Another great thing that the Cybermen's new upgrade has allowed them to do now is the Doctor is not compatible, he can be upgraded. In the past, the Cybermen can only upgrade humans, like just us people, but now they can upgrade humanoid life forms, so that means the Doctor can actually be turned into a Cyberman now, which I think we've all been waiting for a very long time. So he starts to get processed by the brand new Cybermice, which are kind of like little minute versions of Cybermats. I do prefer Cybermats, but these are kind of more ingenious. They kind of like sneak into your system, and by system I mean body, and start to convert you, into a cybernetic life form. So the Doctor is left now fighting for his mind. The cybernetic part of him wants all of his memories and wants access to his body. He wants this Doctor gone, and he wants to be fully upgraded. The Doctor actually prevails and wins and beats the cyber side of himself, by tricking him. And yes, there was a bit of Sonic X Machina involved. This dilemma leaves Clara in a very vulnerable position, though. The Doctor's now away fighting for his mind, but Clara's left on her own to fend for herself against an army of millions of Cybermen, and she is in charge of defending this castle and everybody inside it against all of them. Yes, she's got help from some soldiers and Porridge, but she ultimately takes charge, and this is one of the shining moments of Clara from the series. She actually gives out orders and plans useful tactics and takes charge, which all of it seems to be very effective, and you can trust her in this episode. Unlike with Amy, when Amy was bossy and gave out orders, none of it really made any sense, and it seemed like she was trying to live up to the Doctor too much in a way. But Clara is genuinely fighting for her own life and everybody else around her, trying to give the Doctor a bit more time so he can, fix the situation. But Clara holds her ground. She knows that she will fight to the death just to give the Doctor that little bit more time, because she knows in the end that he will prevail. But in the end, the planet is blowing up with all of the Cybermen on it, and we're left to believe that the Cybermen are now extinct from the galaxy and the Cyber War is over. But something tells me that we're far from, never seeing those Cybermen again. They're gonna come back with a vengeance. Final mark on the episode, 8 out of 10. Brilliant Cybermen story without a doubt. Amazing cast, amazing performance from Matt Smith, amazing looking Cybermen, not much more else to say there. Not my favourite episode of the series, but it's definitely up there. Brilliant, fantastic episode, and the finale looks amazing.
David, it's me in the future. Come through the rift and you can watch The Name of the Doctor with us.
See you next week, FiveWhoFans.
It's a subtle blend of macabre and comical elements. Well, actually, it's probably not that subtle. It's more of a macabre comedy sandwich. With the macabre being the cheese and the comedy being...